Hello. Today is July the 10th, year 2012. And many of you, before I went to sleep yesterday, saw on Facebook that I, myself, wrote my disassociated letter as one a Jehovah's Witness. So, before I go to work, and before I send out this letter to the Watchtower and Bible and Tract Society, I am going to read my disassociated letter. Dear Watchtower and Bible and Tract Society, I have written this letter to you to inform you that I no longer want to be viewed as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. There has been a series of events recently that have changed my view on the Jehovah's Witnesses organization to the point where I have felt compelled to write my disassociated letter. I have been baptized for over 16 years now, and in that time I, like many other Jehovah's Witnesses, have had series of ups and downs. But I do truly believe that I have always tried to be zealous as possible when serving Jehovah. I have followed the organization's advice and studied all the literature, and have even read the Bible daily. There have never been any doubts about my love for Jehovah, because He has always been very real to me. Unfortunately, I have had some serious issues with the organization. For example, the Jehovah's Witnesses were always taught that the Christ's invisible presence begun in the year 1914. But what most Jehovah's Witnesses don't know is that your organization taught that more than 50 years that Christ's invisible presence started in 1874. I informed my mom, who's born and raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, as she didn't believe me, until she was shocked to find out in their own beliefs that it talks about the changes in the book Prophecy, published in 1929, pages 64 and 65. I also talked about the changes in the August the 15th, 1974 Watchtower. Your beliefs also teaches that the last days and the times of the end also started in 1914. But the Watchtower magazines taught for half a century that the last days begun in the year 1799, according interpretation by George Bell, published in 1796. I also feel that your organization do not know how to keep policies straight, like how you deal with disfellowship members. It states in the July the 15th, 1952 Watchtower, page 444. We should not see how close we can get to relatives who are disfellowshipped from Jehovah's organization, but we should quit mixing in company with them. Or, it states from the Organization for Kingdom Preaching and Disciple Making, pages 172. It quotes, "In faithfulness to God, none in the congregation should greet such persons when meeting them in public, nor should they welcome these into their homes." But suddenly, a new Watchtower comes out, and that is in the August the 1st, 1974. And it quotes, "As to disfellowship family members living outside the home, each family must decide to what extent they will have association with such ones. This is not something that the congregation elders can decide for them. Thus, if a disfellowship parent goes to visit a son or daughter or to see grandchildren and is allowed to enter the Christian homes, this is not the concerns of the elders. Such a one has a natural right to visit his blood relatives and his offsprings. But suddenly, another new watchtower comes out. September the 15th, 1981, which is about 4 years after I was born. Pages 22. And it states, yes, the Bible commands Christians not to keep company or fellowship with a person who has been expelled from the congregation. Now, this seems that your organization don't know what they're doing. And this is because there is nowhere in the Bible that talks about disfellowshipping someone. I also have a problem with my cousin, Michael Pebble, who's an elder in my old congregation. He was very polite when we saw each other when our grandmother passed away back in year 2008. But 4 years later, when his own mother passed away, who I used to be very close to, had such an issue when I texted him days after his mom passing, and I only gave him my condolence. He contacted my little brother, as my brother told me that Michael is very mad for me contacting him and that he doesn't want anything to do with me and to leave him alone. It was very hurtful. It definitely seems that this religion make up too many man-made rules that doesn't come from the Bible, including your own Bible. Before 1961, your members followed the King James Version of the Bible, but suddenly your whole religion made your own Bible. Don't you understand what Revelation 22:18 and 19 says? It states, I am bearing witness to everyone that hearing the words of the prophecy of this scroll. If anyone makes addition to these things, God will add to his the plagues that are written in this scroll. And if anyone takes anything away from the words of the scroll of this prophecy, God will take his portion away from the tree of life and out of the city, holy city, things which are written about in this scroll. You Jehovah's Witnesses always like to give definitions like the word apostates, using what the dictionary or the encyclopedia says. So, here's a word that I'm giving to you by dictionary and or encyclopedia, and that is the word cult. A religion or religious sect generally considered to be extremist or false, with its followers often living in an unconventional manner under the guidance of an authorization charismatic leader. B. A system or community of religious worship and ritual. And C. The formal means of expressing religious reverences, religious ceremony, and ritual. Those three statements about a cult applies to what you Jehovah's Witnesses are. You continue to give your Jehovah's Witnesses members the scare tactic that if you don't go by what the governing body or what the Watchtower and Bible and Tract Society says, that you'll be destroyed at Armageddon. But you rarely discuss about God or Jesus. It's all about the leadership of men. In conclusion, I want to say that I'm not blaming any of my Jehovah's Witness relatives and or the witnesses for them shunning me. I'm in turn blaming your organization for controlling them so badly. I in turn love God, or Jehovah, and our Savior Jesus Christ, and there is nothing that will stop me from serving Him. And if I make a mistake, that I just need to give my forgiveness to God, not a man-made organization. The religion that I go to, which is the Community Church of Hope, doesn't make a dress code that you are allowed to wear facial hair. And the most important is that my religion doesn't go through the 20th century and continue to give hope of things that fails, like your religion continues to do. Just like all the years that your religion picked times of the end coming, like the year 1975. We all know that your whole religion told all the Jehovah's Witnesses that the end will come at the year 1975, but it failed. In John 3:16 it states, "For God loved the world." Not God loved Jehovah's Witnesses, but God loved the world so much that He gave His only begotten Son, in order that everyone exercising faith in Him might not be destroyed but have everlasting life. And that's true to all Bibles, including the New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures. And that is my letter of disassociating myself as one Jehovah's Witness. Thanks.